Okay, welcome everybody. Today's Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. We'll go ahead and get this regular council meeting called to order. I appreciate the full house that we have tonight. Thank y'all for coming out. We're going to go ahead and start with the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas by Councilmember Sheridan. Everybody please stand.
All right. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We thank you for the city of Schertz, for its people, its families, and the trust placed in us as stewards of this city. Grant us wisdom in our decisions, clarity in our discussions, and unity in our purpose. Help us lead with integrity, fairness, and humility, always seeking what is right and just for all residents. Guide our words so they bring understanding, not division. Strengthen our commitment to serve with transparency and accountability. And remind us that our responsibility is not only to lead, but to listen. We ask for your protection over our first responders, city staff, and our armed forces, those who serve and sacrifice to protect our freedoms both at home and abroad. May our actions tonight reflect thoughtful leadership and a genuine desire to improve the lives of those we serve. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, one, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
I've been saying the Texas pledge.
Okay, moving on to special announcements. So the Hal Baldwin Scholarship, students attending for the Hal Baldwin Scholarship need to sign in on the sheet located at the back of the podium. If you're watching remotely, please email Sarah Gonzalez at sgonzalez@schertz.com to virtually sign in. Please direct any questions to Ms. Gonzalez. We're going to go ahead and move forward with proclamations. National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 19th to the 25th, 2026. Councilmember Watson.
National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 19th to 25th of 2026. Whereas millions of Americans and victims of crime each year, and these crimes also affect members, families, neighbors, and coworkers, and whereas crimes can lead a lasting emotional, physical, and financial impact on the people of all ages, and the abilities of all economics, racial, and social backgrounds. Whereas 1984, Crimes Victims Fund was established by the Victims in the Crime Act, VOCA, to provide a permanent source of support to crime victim services and compensation through fines, penalties paid by convicted federal offenders. And whereas by ensuring the federal offenders' crime fines, penalties, and deposits into the Crime Victims Funds, Congress affirmed that those who committed crimes should be accountable and for the impact of their actions. And whereas the victims assistance community faces new challenges to reach and serve all victims, including victims of newly recognized crimes. And whereas now it is time to embrace and emphasize on learning that works and reaches underserved victims and meetings victims' needs. Whereas National Crime Victims' Right Week provides the opportunity to celebrate energy, creativity, and commitment that launches the victims' rights movement, inspires progress, and continues to advance the cause of the justice of the crimes victims. Whereas advocates that are joining forces with the victim services provides criminal justice agencies and concerned citizens throughout the city of Schertz. And America can raise awareness of victims' rights and observe National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Therefore, it's be resolved, Ralph Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, hereby proclaims the week of April 19th through the 25th, 2026 as National Crimes Victims' Rights Week. Thank you. So, nobody's going to say. Pictures.
Any pictures? Our next proclamation will be Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, April 2026. Councilmember Paul Macaluso.
Okay, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month for April 2026. Whereas more than 33,249 cases of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Texas during fiscal year 2025. And whereas there were 163 confirmed victims of child abuse and neglect in Guadalupe County in fiscal year 2025. Whereas child abuse prevention is a community responsibility, and finding solutions depends on involvement among all people. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote and support programs that benefit children and their families. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among a variety of entities, including but not limited to schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, child protective services, prosecution agencies, medical professionals, mental health professionals, SJRC, Texas Belong, the Guadalupe County Child Welfare Board, children's advocacy centers, court-appointed special advocates, Bikers Against Child Abuse, and other community-based nonprofit organizations. And whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in safe, nurturing environments, as well as supporting local professionals dedicated to meeting the needs of child abuse victims. And therefore, be it resolved that Ralph Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, hereby proclaims April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Schertz, Texas, and urges all citizens to work together to reduce child abuse and neglect and significantly improve the response of our community when child abuse occurs in the months and years ahead. Have someone that would like to speak? Okay.
Hi, my name is Christy Williams. I'm the Executive Director of the Guadalupe County Children's Advocacy Center. We have a primary office in the city of Seguin and a satellite office here in Schertz. We served 942 children last year in 2025, and we have pinwheel displays across the county to represent each one of those children. We work alongside our partners in law enforcement, child protective services, medical, mental health providers, CASA, Belong, and we are trying to minimize the impact that the system has on children when there are allegations of child abuse and neglect. So our partners can refer children and families to us. We can conduct child-friendly, non-interrogative, unbiased interviews of those children that can be used for the purpose of investigation and can later be used in court to support the child's statements. And we provide family advocacy services to help support and give resources to the supportive caregivers, the non-offending caregivers. We have counseling services that are completely free of charge, and we have a large enough counseling staff to see 250 clients a week. So we are here, like I said, in the city of Schertz in our satellite office, and we are going to be working on making a more permanent location here in the city of Schertz. We're incredibly thankful for all of the support of Schertz, and we have been doing this now for 22 years in this county, and the city of Schertz has supported us ever since our inception. So we're truly thankful.
Come in the front here.
Next proclamation is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April 2026. Councilmember Guerrero.
National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month, April 2026. Whereas every 68 seconds, another person in the United States is sexually assaulted, and in Texas, 2 in 5 women and 1 in 5 men are victims of sexual assault. In fiscal year 2025, Thriving Hearts Crisis Center rendered 552 services to 93 survivors of sexual violence and provided 94 hospital accompanied for sexual assault exams. Whereas, according to a study conducted by the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault and the University of Texas at Austin Institute on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, approximately 6.3 million Texans have been sexually victimized. Whereas, most victims of sexually assaulted by someone they know, and 91% of the victims did not report to police. Whereas, it is appropriate to salute the more than 20 million victims of who survived sexual assault in the United States and efforts of victims, volunteers, and professionals who combat sexual assault. Whereas national and community organizations and private sector supporters should be recognized and applauded for their work in promoting awareness about sexual assault. Whereas police, forensic workers, and prosecutors should be recognized and commended for their hard work and innovative strategies to increase the percentage of sexual assault cases that resolve in the prosecution and incarceration of the offenders. Whereas sexual violence is a persistent and pervasive problem in our society, one that requires attention year-round, and in order to foster healthy communities, all citizens must support the effort to end sexual violence every month of the year. Whereas national and community organizations, businesses in private sector, and the media are urged through national sexual assault awareness of sexual violence and strategies to decrease the incidence of sexual assault. Now, therefore, Mayor of Schertz, Mr. Ralph Rodriguez, claims the month of April 2026 as National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Signed, Mayor of Schertz, Mr. Ralph Rodriguez. You want to say something?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Rossett. I'm the Awareness and Education Coordinator at Thriving Hearts Crisis Center. We serve all of Guadalupe County as well as Gonzales, Nixon, and Wilson County. We help survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. When we receive these calls, we bring them into our facility. We help them with clothes, food, shelter, help them determine a game plan, what's their next steps in moving forward. with their child if they have a child. Also, in the city of Seguin on April 29th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we'll be hosting our Denim Day event, and it's our annual event to promote awareness for sexual assault. And if you all have a chance to go out, we invite you. Thank you.
The next proclamation we have is Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, April 12th through the 18th, 2026. Councilmember Hayward.
I always get excited about being able to read the proclamation for the Animal Services Department because they do an amazing job with what they do and the resources they have. And they're good with neonatal, and I'm just saying this off script, but neonatal and the branding of Schertz, people want to learn from them, and they are an amazing team. And I just always have to brag on them when I can. So just wanted to let y'all know that before I started reading. National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, April 12th through the 18th of 2026. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated the second full week in April as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. Whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers and animal services staff for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens, public safety, and domestic animals, livestock across the nation. Whereas the City of Schertz recognizes and commends the Schertz Animal Service personnel who answers calls for assistance, capture roaming and potentially dangerous animals, rescue animals, investigate reports of animal abuse, educate pet owners about responsible care, and mediate disputes between neighbors regarding pets. Whereas in 2025, the City of Schertz Animal Services responded to 2,067 calls for service and handled 1,238 animals for intake. Whereas the City of Schertz has a staff that includes 1 animal service manager, 4 animal service officers, 4 kennel techs. And whereas in 2025, the Schertz Animal Services has developed partnerships with San Antonio Humane Society and other animal rescue organizations for placement of scared and ill animals. Whereas in 2025, the Schertz Animal Services Department continued their vision to have special units where they can care for neonatal animals, both domestic and wild. They have an entire room in full service dedicated to the care of infant animals. And whereas animal control officers provide essential community functions, including the enforcement of animal control laws, protecting the public from diseases such as rabies, and educating the public on proper care of the community's pets. Now, therefore, I, Allison Hayward, on behalf of Ralph Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, proclaim National Animal Care and Control Week, April 12th through the 18th, 2026. We encourage all citizens to join me in thanking City Animal Services for their dedication and exceptional service they provide to all citizens and animals in our great community. Thank you so much for what you do. You have something to say.
Thank you so much for the recognition. My name is Megan. I'm the Animal Services Manager. And animal control is a unique profession. It's fun, but it's challenging, but rewarding. And our staff are some of the most passionate people I've ever known in my life. They put their heart and soul into serving our community, and we just thank you so much for being such a supportive community and advocate for us all the time. Thank you.
Again, thank you guys for your great job. You're amazing.
Our next proclamation is going to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 12th through the 18th, 2026. Councilmember Westbrook.
National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, April 12th through 18th. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas an emergency occurs, the prompt response requires the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the City of Schertz Emergency Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas the Public Safety Telecommunicators Department has 16 employees, 1 communications manager with 21 and a half years of experience, 4 shift supervisors with a combined 57 years of experience, and 11 communication officers with a combined total of 29 years of experience. Whereas the public safety telecommunicators for the City of Schertz answered approximately 29,000 911 calls, 64,000 non-emergency lines answered, 1,400 texts to 911 answered. In 2025, there were 43,000 calls for service for Schertz PD, 25,000 calls for service for Cibolo PD, 5,000 calls for service for Schertz Fire, 4,000 calls for service for Cibolo Fire, and 16,500 calls for service for Schertz EMS. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Schertz have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, now therefore be it resolved that Ralph Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, proclaims National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 12th through 18th, 2026. He encourages all citizens to join us in honoring the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Congratulations.
I'm Jim Lowry, the Chief of Police. I just want to thank everybody. And without a doubt, our dispatchers are the lifeline of all first responders. It is a sad day for the City of Schertz. The young lady next to me is retiring, and she's leaving a legacy. She's moving on to a new career field, and I wish her the best of luck.
That brings us to our last proclamation, being Military Child Month, April 2026. Councilmember Sheridan.
Good evening again. This one is dear to my heart. As a veteran, but I'm also a military brat, or military child as well. So, come on up. We got the West family and the Wilkerson family. No? Okay. So let us read off. All right, April 2026 is the month of the military child. April 7, 2026 is Purple Up for Military Kids Day. The City of Schertz will observe the month of the military child during the month of April 2026 and on April 7, 2026. Purple Up for Military Kids Day to honor military families and their children for the sacrifices they make and their unconditional support of our armed forces. And whereas nearly 2 million children in military families face unique challenges, including frequent moves and family separation. These remarkable young people demonstrate incredible strength and courage while adapting to new schools, making new friends, and supporting their families' service to our nation. And whereas the City of Schertz, along with the Texas Education Agency, are committed to ensuring military-connected students are supported in our schools and various programs. As our men and women in uniform focus on the challenges and missions they face in the line of duty, and whereas in the month of April, citizens can show their support for military children and appreciation for their strength and sacrifices by wearing purple, which represents the blending of the colors of the 5 branches of the armed forces. Now, therefore, Mayor Ralph Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, upon all citizens of the City of Schertz and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the month of April 2026 to be the month of the military child and April 7, 2026 as Purple Up for Military Kids Day. Military kids are essential members of our community who deserve recognition for their strength and sacrifice. I know we have some other military kids out there, aren't we? Don't we? Come on up. You got some? Come on. No? Come on.
Next on the agenda is employee introduction, neighborhood services.
Hello, I'm Lisa Locken, Neighborhood Services Manager, and I'm here to introduce our newest code enforcement officer, Stephen Miller. Steve grew up in San Antonio and he graduated from UTSA. He has a degree in environmental science. He is a certified nursery professional and he worked for Rainbow Gardens in San Antonio. He also worked for the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, where he assessed and mapped all of the trees and shrubs on Randolph Air Force Base. He and his wife live in Schertz, and they enjoy outdoor activities.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Schertz family, Stephen. We look forward to seeing what the wonderful things you'll be doing for the city. So, thank you. Next, we have Public Works.
Good evening, Council. We have David, started in February. He started in drainage, now transferred to the water department, but he has been an asset to the drainage department at the time that he was there. Some of his favorite hobbies, hunting and fishing. He's also a pool player. He will be in Vegas.
For the APA championship in April.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Quite a pool player. Some of his favorite books and movies, TV show, anything Marvel. So he's big time. Other than that, we have Victor, Mr. Victor Guerrero. Started with us in February as well. He's in the drainage department, still there. He is from Guam. Favorite places to visit would be Japan. And his favorite movies, TV shows are Tokyo Drift, all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Anything you guys would like to say?
The opportunity, as long as y'all allow me.
Well, Victor and David, welcome to the Schertz family, and we look forward to having y'all for a long time. Thank y'all. Next on the agenda, we have presentations. We have an employee. No, scratch it out. Is utility billing here? I don't want to miss them. Nope. Okay. Next, we have presentations, and we're going to be celebrating somebody who's getting a 25-year, 10-year milestone service pin. So at this time, I'll call up our city manager, Steve Williams.
All right, can I have Mac Melanson come on up? So y'all have heard me do these presentations before. This is one of my favorite things to do because we get to celebrate the dedication to service to our community and to their craft of our employees. As you know, we do tenure recognitions for our employees. We start at 1 year, we do 5 years, 10 years, 15, and then 20 and above we do in council. So we can bring them up here and roast them a little bit. No, I mean celebrate them and have a good time with them. But really, it's something to be celebrated and something that we're really proud of our employees. And I want to, before, I have a little thing I want to read. It's a little bio. But before we do that, we'd like to play a fun little game here. So it's called 25 Years Ago in December of 2000. What was going on? Well, can we have that up? There we go. On the tech scene, PlayStation 2 was released. Did you have one of those? No? And DVDs were booming, and they were majorly popular. Remember that? Blockbuster, Redbox, those kinds of things. Okay. There was no social media. MySpace and Facebook, they were still 3 or 4 years away. And then outrageous accessories, tinted wraparound sunglasses. Do you have some of those? The Terminator kind? No? And the beginning of the Ugg boot craze. Now, I have seen some pictures. I think you were wearing those. And in the box office, How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Castaway were the top movies. Both great films. So, but more importantly, Fire Lieutenant Mac Melanson joined the Schertz Fire Department. I think the one in the middle might be from Glamour Shots.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Very good. But Mac Melanson, 20 years of service. He started with the Schertz Fire Department in December of 2000, and he's currently a lieutenant at Fire Station 2 and with a crew of up to 6 people, and he runs an engine or a platform. He is also a part of the TIFMAS program and has been able to be on many state deployments starting as early 2010. And what that means is when we have a disaster somewhere else in the state, this team comes together and they fight those fires and take care of that. So that's a very important thing and contribution that our department does statewide, and MAC especially. He was born in the swamps of Louisiana in the summer of 1978. He moved to Texas when he was a young boy, grew up in Bulverde, and graduated from Smithson Valley High School. What's the mascot? Rangers, okay, there you go. After high school, he worked for CPS Electric in San Antonio for 2 years before he started fire school. And then after fire school, worked part-time for the Hollywood Park and Bulverde fire departments, but then started full-time at Schertz after that. He lives in Adkins, where he purchased property around 20 years ago, and his wife Laura, there she is, okay. And he have been married for 19 years and have 2 great children, Haley, 28, who is a school teacher. Where's Haley? Oh, there's Haley. A school teacher at Free Height Elementary, and Mason, 18, attends Clemens High School.
Go Buffs!
Go Buffs. There you go. They love the coast and have built a house in Rockport a couple of years ago, love to travel, and have been fortunate to experience many places, and likes fishing, hunting, and anything to do outdoors. So congratulations on 25 years, sir. The mic is yours.
Well, all I can say is that's about right. Well, where did 25 years go? It flies by, so I'm looking forward to the next 5, and that'll probably be it for me. So, man, to the city, it's been great working here. I started when there was 3 or 4 of us, and now where are we at, 17 a shift, I think, if I'm doing that math right. So it's been pretty great seeing the city come to fruition the way it is today. To C-Shift, a bunch of great guys I've worked with for a long time. A lot of memories. Yeah, probably some of those we can't say here. So to my wife and kids, thank you for the support, my family. Y'all mean the world. I love you. So thank you.
This says 5 years on it, so you got to do 25 more.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Also, one more thing. Oh, okay. So this is the city manager's coin, and when you do something outstanding, you get a city manager's coin, and 25 years of dedicated service, in my opinion, is outstanding, so thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it, buddy. I know, dude. That's crazy. Thanks, dude.
Okay, next we have 2026 bond for Schertz Cibolo University ISD. We have Superintendent Paige Maloney.
Let's see if we can. Oh, there you go. All right. All right, thank you.
Mayor Rodriguez, City Manager Williams, and council members, first of all, as a citizen, thank you for everything you do. What? Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. And on behalf of myself and the Board of Trustees for SCUC, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for the opportunity to come talk with you this evening. Just really quickly, we have called Bond 2020-26. As you know in your roles, that allows us to, a bond election allows us to borrow money for school construction. The funds are repaid over time by levying that tax rate every year to pay the principal and interest. It's similar to a home mortgage. And why do you have to do a bond election? The state doesn't provide for those large facility projects. So we have called an election for May 2nd. We have 3 different propositions. The last time we did a bond in 2016, there was 1 proposition, but legislation now has called for us you have to put things into categories, and that's what we have done, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Prop A is the largest. It really is those, looking at our facilities and looking at the infrastructure and the replacements that are needed, campus security systems, upgrading some classroom and learning spaces, and in the areas of physical education and play areas across the district. Our Prop B is our stadium facility. If you are putting a stadium on the bond and it has over 1,000 capacity seating, it has to go on its own proposition. So that this is for our stadium to expand the capacity. You've probably seen those bleachers that we pull in every single year and rent for the largely attended games. So this would expand the capacity, upgrade our safety and security and concessions, restrooms, lighting, sound systems. If you've been to a game, you know how that's kind of hit or miss, and the scoreboard. Would also over 1,000 capacity seating at the Steel Stadium and the Corbett Junior High, artificial turf at both of those places. Prop C is technology devices for staff and students. Of course, those would not be financed for more than the life of the asset, so 5 years on finance for that. You guys know that we have two sides of our tax rate, our maintenance and operations and our interest in sinking. Interest in sinking is what we're talking about here. As you add debt, you have to levy a tax rate to be able to do that. But when you combine those tax rates together, you get one school tax rate. Our school tax rate history over the past 5 years has decreased, and that's been both because of the state, everything that has happened with compression, thank you to the state of Texas, but then also our board being deliberate and mindful to manage that tax rate. The ballot language, of course, says this is a property tax increase. We don't anticipate a tax rate increase next year, but you know, if you're extending debt, it is a tax increase over time. But again, thank you to the state of Texas on our school taxes, we've had homestead exemptions that have significantly lowered the taxable value at the school level. Homeowners over 65, if you have not, if homeowners over 65 have not had significant improvements to their home, there would not be a tax increase. And all of our information is on our bond website. I promised I would not go over 3 minutes. Value your time very, very much, but just so appreciative of being able to come before you tonight.
Thank you.
And I think we have some flyers. We'll leave them, or we pass them out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Moving on to presentation of Schertz Police Department 2025 Annual Report Presentation. Chief Laurie.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager Steve Williams. I'm Jim Lyer, your police chief. I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you and present to you the first annual report for the Schertz Police Department. This is a product that we will be releasing in the future in the March of the preceding years. I think it's a product that highlights the great work that the men and women of this department does and how we're moving forward, being a professional and progressive police department. And I just wanted to go over a few items. We will also be providing each council member 2 to 4 copies, hard copies. Those shall be in next week. You're free to share, and if you need an additional one after that. We have already posted it this afternoon on our Facebook and social media pages, so it's out there for the public. And again, it's in our effort to be transparent with the community that we serve. So, starts off with a message just from the chief. We also have our command staff that's in there, the message from the chief, and then we also have a message from our mayor. We also have a message from our city manager. And as we progress through here, we have our organizational chart so that everybody is quite familiar with the organization and where our personnel are. Some things I'd like to highlight here on this page is the number of officers we have. So in 2024, we were authorized 73. We have 74 authorized in 2025. We had 68 officers hired in 2024. We have 66 at the end of December. And at the end of this presentation, we'll show you why we went down. We had 5 retirements over this year. We currently have hired 3 additional officers since January. Those numbers will go up slightly. And then also it breaks down the demographics of the department from our races and our sex. We had our NIBRs is the numbers that we report. And again, as we were mentioning in several meetings before, we were rated as the safest city in the San Antonio Metroplex and the 9th safest in the state of Texas, the 87th in the nation. But this is the metrics that they use for that also. So if you look at that, we compare 24 to 25, and as we move forward, we're going to try to have a 3-year trend, and we just got to the point where we can start accessing this data and present it to our community members. This page here, we want to be, again, transparent. It talks about our use of force and when we've used them. We've also talked about use of force in our racial profiling report that I presented to you back in March. We break down into our bureaus. We have our Field Operations Bureau, which is commanded by Assistant Chief Waller. Within our Uniformed Services Bureau there, we also have a K-9. We have a SWAT team. We work with the Alamo area SWAT team. We're part of that program with 11 other agencies. We have a field training program. We have our Operations Support Bureau, which is ran by Assistant Chief Daniel Roman. Within that, we have a CID division. So last year, we filed 269 cases for prosecution. Just as a highlight for the 24 and 25 numbers real quick, our numbers seem to be going up. I think we are going to see that go up just a little bit more as we continue to come out of the COVID era. So in 2024, we had 154 cases filed for prosecution. In 2025, we had 269, and you can see the numbers. We went up to 1,006 cases assigned from 766 for the previous year. And we have some information on our warrants also. Our Crime Victims Liaison, as you saw tonight, there were many programs that we're involved in. We work with a multidisciplinary team approach. As you see that we're all working together, whether we're a non-governmental organization, whether we're a child advocacy center, law enforcement, faith-based, it comes together as a community to help us address many of these egregious crimes. But our Crime Victims Liaison is not only mandated by law, but we have a very effective one. As you can see, the victims they've served and the advocacy services that we've provided to many members of our community. We also have leveraged our technology where we currently have a drone that we not only use for calls for service as a force multiplier from a missing person to answer an alarm call to check a roof without having the fire department come out, provide a ladder. We also are looking at exploring the possibilities of a DFR, which is a drone first responder, where we can have a drone on site within 30 to 60 seconds after a call is received. And what we're finding out, and the interesting data on that is they're actually clearing 30% of the calls by a drone before an officer actually get on call. So we're saving that time and our officers can stay in their beats. Our communications, we talked about dispatch earlier, they were recognized. As you see, 28,992 911 calls. You know, what's unique about our dispatch, I just want to make sure we all understand the perspective. They're not serving a city of 44, 45,000. They're actually serving a city of 80 to 100,000. In fact, because we dispatch for the city of Cibolo, and our EMS also provides service to a 250 square mile area. And it's all done by the 12 dispatchers, the 4 supervisors, and 1 dispatch manager. I think they do an awesome job. Our records unit and our traffic unit, we talked about in our racial profiling. We're not looking for the citations, we're looking for the quality traffic stop, not a quantity for the numbers. And I think there is a strict and a direct line correlation between the number of traffic stops you make, and I'm not saying citations, traffic stops, with our crime, and I think that's why our numbers have gone down. And some of our crime is because of the effectiveness we have been able to get our traffic stops back up in a designated crime area. We have a community projects unit, and in our school resource officers unit, we work hand in hand with SCUC. We currently are under a contract or an MOU with them because of House Bill 3. We have to have an armed officer at all schools. They essentially are paying for 83 to 84% of our officer's salary 10 months out of the year. So we have 10 officers and 2 sergeants assigned to our SRO unit. Professional Standards Division, some people will most commonly know this as their biggest part of that is our internal affairs, but they also were responsible for our training and our quartermaster, also our animal control services, which was recognized tonight. Seeing animal services, the numbers there, we talk about there, you can see that when you read the document. We do our own internal training and we do seek outside training. It just highlights the number of hours. Again, we were mandated for alert level 1 training, for that's your active shooting training and alert updates, which is required by law. Our community engagement, we had 3,242 hours given back to this community from our Citizens Police Academy alumni. If you just used a $15 an hour figure for that service, we're looking at $48,000 to $50,000 that they've returned back to us for the work that they do. And we have an annual review of our community events from Blue Santa, Child Passenger Safety, Youth Police Academy, National Night Out, Neighborhood Watch, Citizens Police Academy, and our Car Fit program. Last page we get to is going to be our employee department for our recognition, our annual awards, 9 annual awards, our service awards, and then again our retirees and our promotions that we had throughout the last year. And then we just want to thank our community members and our council and mayor for the support we get, and from city manager. And again, this is a product that we will continue to work on and develop. And I'd be remiss without saying that many people work together to make this product come to life and to fruition. However, I need to recognize Assistant Chief Elliot Waller and our public affairs, who actually played a significant part in this and actually did more than their fair share of the work. So I just want to say thank you for them and to see if y'all had any questions on this product.
No questions. Thank you very much, Chief Lowry, for the fine work that your men and women are doing.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a great evening.
Moving on to city events and announcements. Announcements of upcoming city events. Sarah?
Thank you, Mayor. So a couple things for tonight. On Monday, April 13th, there will be a special council meeting to canvass the special election for Place 6 and ordering a runoff. That'll be at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Saturday, April 18th, there's a couple of events going on to note. First, Love Where You Live is going to be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You meet up at the North Center. The area is going to be the North Cliff area that they're going to be serving projects there. And you can pre-register on their website, or you can register on site the day of. Also that day in the morning is going to be the Together We Play event. This is the partnership with the Parks and the Library at the Community Playscape, and that is starting at 10 a.m. to noon. And then finally, our next meeting will be on Tuesday, April 21st, here at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements. Moving on to announcements and recognitions by the city manager, Steve Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. We had 5 promotions this month. So we had Sean Hilla was promoted from from EMT to EMS paramedic, and Levi Flickering was promoted from paramedic to MIH paramedic. And in the water department, we had Jeremy Jacowe was promoted from park maintenance tech to public works / wastewater operator trainee. And then in the police department, Dallas Hopper promoted from sergeant to lieutenant, and Henry Farnert promoted from police officer to sergeant. So we're really proud of all of those folks from moving up in the world and our organization. And then lastly, on May 15th at 10:30 a.m., we will be dedicating the conference room in the city council chambers to Councilman Tim Brown, who passed late last year. And we will make that dedication, and then following that at 12:45 will be the interment of Tim and Nancy over at Fort Sam. There'll be more details coming soon, but just wanted to get that out there so you guys can put it on your calendars. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. The only announcements that I had is we did a proclamation this past Friday for Peso Pluma, which is Hassan Emilio Caban Lare, graduated from Samuel Clemens, who's he's a global musician when it comes to the Hispanic industry. And so he played at the Frostbank Center Friday night, and he had played at the Toyota Center on Thursday night in Houston. And it's amazing the impact that he's had on the students here at, not just at Samuel Clemens, but throughout the Schertz-Cibolo ISD Independent School District. So we definitely thank him for coming out and spending time with the city of Schertz and also with Schertz-Cibolo ISD and also with the Buffaloes out there on Friday. So. And then also took a tour of the CCMA plant yesterday. And that was a good tour. It's great to see the expansion that they're having to be able to keep up with the growth in our community and the great things that they're doing. So that's all I have. Moving on to hearing of residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the city council. Each person should fill out the speaker's register prior to the meeting. Presentation should be limited to no more than 3 minutes. All remarks should be addressed to the council as a body and not to any individual member thereof. Any person making any personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks while addressing the council may be requested to leave the meeting. All handouts and/or USB devices must be submitted to the city secretary no later than noon on Monday preceding the meetings. Handouts will be provided to each council member prior to the start of the meeting by the city secretary. All USB devices will be vetted by the city IT staff to ensure city property is protected from malware. When you come up to speak, if you'll please state your name and your address. We're going to start out with Jordan Barnes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jordan Barnes. I'm a student at Samuel Clemens High School, and I live at 4616 Silverton. I'm here tonight because this bond directly impacts students like me, and students' voices are important. At Clemens, I'm involved in both fine arts and CTE. I'm on the dance team, and I'm also a part of FFA, officers in both. Through dance, I spend a lot of time at the stadium for practices, football games, and performances. It's a big part of how we represent our school and our community. Being there, you can see how important that space is, but also that it's heavily used and needs updates to better support students. The stadium desperately needs a working scoreboard. Through FFA, I'm also seeing how important the Toby Connor Agriculture Barn is. It's where students learn responsibility, leadership, and real-world skills. Having updated equipment and spaces matters, especially as CTE programs continue to grow and prepare students for future careers. At Clemens, I also see everyday things that affect students. Our cafeteria is small for the number of students we have. There are times where students are sitting on the floor because there isn't enough seating. Expanding that space would make a big difference in our daily experiences and in situations where we need to be inside. I've been in SUC schools for a long time. I went to Watts Elementary from 2015 to 2019, and I remember the playground needing updates. It's been years since I was there, and those same spaces are still being used by younger students today. This bond touches a lot of areas, from classrooms and equipment to spaces where students learn, perform, and spend their day. It's about keeping up with what students need now. As a student, I can say these things matter more than people may realize. They impact how we learn, how we participate, and how we experience school every day. I'm here today to encourage our Schertz community to show up and vote on May 2nd. Voting is important because it's how our community has a voice and decisions that affect students and schools. And while you're there, please don't forget to vote for the SUC bond. Students across our district are counting on the community to support the spaces and programs that help us grow and succeed. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Jay Starr.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, city manager. My name is Jay Starr. I live at 9835 Morehouse Drive. I'd like to talk to you tonight about Frontier Waste Solutions and the issues that are going on. Back in April of last year, the City Council voted 5-1 to award Frontier Waste Services the contract. And with a 25% increase is what was briefed. However, it comes out to be a little bit more. We'll get into that later. And on 1 July, the contract actually started with Frontier. Since then, the 33% increase that was actually incurred went from $14.46 to $19.20 with less services from Frontier Waste Solutions. We no longer have a construction material, as they call it. Republic called it fencing material or little lumber. We no longer are able to do that, but yet we're still paying for a bulk fee. We also do not have in there the fall and spring cleanup, which a lot of homeowners would go and take material out to do spring cleanup and beautify the area. We no longer have those services with this new contract. The other issue is many residents in my area, they are having and complaining about Frontier missing pickups of either trash or recycle. Inconsistency, there's been as late as 6 p.m. that Frontier is running around picking up trash. And then leaving the garbage cans in the middle of the street or knocked over. I emailed the city secretary my slides, and I believe she's sent those out to you. There are some pictures out there for you guys to look at. In accordance with the Schertz City Ordinance 13-H-51, Section 5 or 54-22G, you're supposed to maintain all structures, including fences, walls, in a safe and structurally sound, good repair. However, when a resident wants to go out and replace their fence, there's no place to take this fencing material now. My neighbor, we replaced his fence. When I did mine, I called the city and had it all stacked up outside. They came in and got it. Now, we stacked up all that. It didn't get picked up. I called the city and asked, and they referred me to Frontier, where I called and I got, that's not my problem. Okay, so what's the solution? What I'm asking the city to do is to conduct a survey of residents to see where we're at and to provide a solution for us to dump this material. And if you have any questions, I'm available later on. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Kate. I don't want to butcher the last name. Kate, what's your last name?
I'm Kate Dearmond-Littell, and I'm in the core leadership class with the Chamber. So we're just here to say thank you for hosting us. And a few months ago was really eye-opening, and we're very thankful for the time and that your team that came and supported us through that through our class. So thank you so much, and have a good evening.
Thank you. And then next we have Maggie Titterington.
Good evening, Council. Maggie Titterington, 1730 Schertz Parkway, your Chamber of Commerce President. A few updates. We have a groundbreaking for Gringos on May 21st. Woo! Another restaurant around in the Schertz area at 2 p.m. And we are working with Portillo's. They have a tentative ribbon cutting sometime in May. We've got a few factors, nothing too serious, but as soon as we find out when that is, we will let you all know. I, on the other hand, do have kudos to give to Frontier Waste Solutions. They are once again helping us out with Leadership Corps, as you just heard one of our students. And going to Austin each year for Leadership Corps is a little bit expensive when you're transporting 15 students, you know, just the food, the tours that we arrange. And so once again, they have stepped forward and that they are going to support that. We're very grateful for their support on this. It's helping us to get growing leaders in our area. These are business owners, these are municipality staff members, and so just wanted to, just thank Chris Cox and Frontier Waste Solutions for helping us continue this very worthy program. I wanted to take the rest of my time to support this bond. The presentation that was just presented, I was part of the CAC committee that toured. I was part of the 75. We toured these facilities, and to see, when I used to go to school, way back when, I went through Schertz Elementary and O'Henry when there was O'Henry and Clemens High School, Buffs, but to see some of the areas that I still recognize that are in the same state, that's a little scary. And the fact that our children are going to these schools now, school district, very transparent on their website. When you go there, you can see the demographics. I've been part of this committee since its inception in 2013, and these are not we wish we could have or these little extra things. They have to have these. This bond has to pass. The $295 million was whittled down from $500 million in things that we need for this school district. Somebody could say, oh, stadium, that's fluff. No, it's not. It's safety measures. It's the stadium seating. It's lighting. But most especially the brunt of that $230 million, I mean, HVAC systems that are past their time of life need to be replaced. And we all know what it is here in Texas in summer. That's hot. That's really hot. Just think of your child or your grandchild being in there without air conditioning, and you can just imagine how that is. So they have 4 town hall meetings that are going on where they're actually at the facility. So you can go to Clemens, you can go to Dobie. I believe there's one at Steele. I think there's 2 at Clemens. One's is going to hit the stadium so that the people can actually see what they're talking about. But please be informed, because I know there's a lot of chatter on Facebook. And yes, I can understand there's concern about the monies and stuff. But get the facts that are out there. There are facts. And again, it's eye-opening. And to actually take the tour and see what is needed, it's astounding. So again, the dates of the town halls are on the school site. If you all want to know when those are. And again, this is about making the best opportunities for our children. And we really need to be looking out for them. So please go out and vote and support this bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Herman Arlo.
Mayor, City Council, thank you. I'd like to bring to y'all's attention the road street conditions out in southern Schertz.
Can you state your name and address, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. 11564 West Seguin Road. Anyway, mainly I'm concerned about the uncontrolled through truck traffic from like I-10 and sometimes from FM 1604. Anytime anything happens on either one, drivers shortcut through these areas, Greytown, West Seguin, etc. The cars are one thing, but the trucks, tractor trailers over the road, oversized. There was hazardous materials coming through there. We're talking 80,000 pound loads, vehicles. That's totally different. Those streets out there they may be designed, but they're not built up to those standards. I've been mentioning this stuff for probably a couple of years, or if not 3 or 4, I don't know. Anyway, since the fall of 2024, the construction onto I-10, it's been a nightmare, because anytime they do anything out there to divert 1 lane or 2 lanes of traffic, the traffic starts coming through Greytown Road, West Seguin, Trainer Hale. And like I said, it's one thing with the cars, but that truck traffic, and the thing is, 1518's right there. I don't know why they don't use it. That was because there was a tanker turned over out there on I-10 westbound, and they had that whole interstate shut down for like 2 days, 48 hours. The police department at that particular time wouldn't do anything about it. I mean, no temporary truck detour signs or nothing. So all that traffic was coming through there. And sure enough, come New Year's Eve on 12/31, 2024, there was a water leak there developed, so that was like a month later. But I know it developed because of all that truck traffic going across there at File Road in Ware Seguin. Yeah, they fixed it like 3 days later, and then it took another 6 months for the actual road, the street getting totally repaired. I'm sorry here. The any closure out there on the interstate, even now the stuff they're doing over in Guadalupe County, they're coming down, zigzagging through Wild Road from, what's that? Anyway, the other road there from out of Guadalupe County. And, these trucks are just driving around lost because, they're either following the car, GPS, or whatever. But anyway, be great if y'all could put up some no through truck signs out there, all those roads, Ware Seguin, Greytown, Trainer Hill. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, we have Amanda Villegas.
Hello, my name is Amanda Villegas. I am located at 9120 East FM 1518. I am here on behalf of Leadership Corps Class of 2026. That was all I had planned to say, but as I've sat here and I was able to see the presentation of the bond that was proposed today, in Leadership Corps, we go over various different topics, and one of those topics was education, and we were able to get a tour by SCUC ISD, and during that tour I was able to see the importance of these bonds, and I just strongly encourage council to take it into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And that will end the hearing of residents. Moving on to the consent agenda items. The consent agenda is considered self-explanatory and will be enacted by the council with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless they are removed from the consent agenda upon the request of the mayor or council member. Council members, do we have any items that you would like removed from the consent agenda? Having none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion made by Councilmember Hayward, second by Councilmember Watson. Can I get everybody to cast their votes? Can I get the votes published, please? Having 7 yeas, no nays, motion passes. Moving on to discussion and action items on item 10, Resolution 26-R-037, authorizing the purchase and installation of 26 HVAC systems from Way Mechanical. Mr. James? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Harden.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Rodriguez, Mr. Williams. My name is Chad Lonsbury. I am the Facilities Maintenance Superintendent for the City of Schertz. Right now, there are 26 HVAC systems in the City of Schertz that are nearing the end of their life expectancy. There are 9 systems in the library, 11 at the rec center, 5 at City Hall, and 1 in the council chambers building, and they all need to be replaced before they end up failing. City Hall is also in need of work that needs to be done to bring the building up to current building codes requirements. We initially planned to procure these services using a request for bids, but after reviewing purchasing cooperatives, we found that many of the major companies likely to bid on the project are members of cooperatives. Purchases under the cooperative programs meet the requirements under the Texas Local Government Purchasing Code. The decision was made to get quotes for the work through the purchasing cooperatives with the belief this would ensure several firms bid on the work and the city received the best pricing. The decision was made to get pricing for the entirety of the work to achieve economies of scale. Way Mechanical, a TIPS purchasing cooperative vendor, was selected as their price was more than $150,000 less than the next lowest priced vendor.
Do we have any questions from any council members? Having none, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 10 by Councilmember Hayward, seconded by Councilmember Watson. Can I get all council to cast the votes? Can I get the votes published? Having 7 yeas, no nays, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 11 will be in closed session. The city council will meet in closed session pursuant to section 551-071 of the state government code. The city of Schertz will consult in closed session with its attorney to receive legal advice regarding pending or contemplating litigation, a settlement offer, or a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of the Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter, to include the unauthorized use of city property. And for item number 12, we'll be in closed session for item number 12 as well. So, and that'll be, the city council will meet in closed session in accordance with section 551.072, Texas Government Code, deliberation regarding the purchase, sale, exchange, lease, or value of water lease rights. So we'll be going to executive session at 7:17. All right, we're going to go ahead and come out of executive session on items 11 and 12 with no action taken in executive session at 8:16. So there will be no action taken on items 13 and 14. And there's no discussion to occur on items 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we'll move requests and announcements. So requests by mayor and council members for updates or information from staff. Would anybody like any updates from the staff? Okay, having none. Request by mayor and council members that items or presentations be placed on future city council agendas. I have a few. I'd like to request a staff work session on items that have come up on darkness and lack of lights along Schertz Parkway leading up to the Schertz Elementary School. I'd also like us to look at darkness and lack of lighting on Green Valley Road, on Green Valley and 3009. And I would also like to bring up, request a staff work session on sidewalks along 1103 from Davenport Middle School to I-35. And the last thing I would like to do is I'd like to see about conducting a survey of the residents for Frontier Waste Solutions to find out if they're happy with the services and to find out if there's anything that we can do to improve the services to the residents. So, does any other council members have any other items they'd like to add? All right, having none. This meeting's adjourned at 8:18. Oh, wait. Take.
Oh,
I did miss that last one, didn't I? I apologize to council for doing that.
you know what I did on the budget?